Hey there, my wedding planning friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Emily Summer. If you're new here, thanks for clicking on my picture. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe to get your weekly dose of wedding planning advice and tips. You can also follow me on Instagram at Emily Summer Studios. And while this topic is all about Pinterest, feel free to follow me on Pinterest at Emily Summer Studios as well. So today we are going to talk about the do's and don'ts of using Pinterest for wedding planning. So here's the deal. I love Pinterest. I have a love-hate relationship with Pinterest when it comes to weddings. It is such a great resource to look at photos and be able to help spark inspiration and ideas for your wedding, especially if you're not a particularly creative person. But I do believe there are some rules you should follow in order to save yourself from going crazy using Pinterest to plan your wedding. I think one of the best uses for Pinterest when it comes to helping you plan your wedding is to get ideas for your color scheme and sort of the theme or vibe that you want for your wedding. I feel like this is something that clients struggle with a lot in the beginning stages, is like, how do I even create a theme to have all my decor surround around during my wedding? So I think Pinterest is great to be able to search and find styles that you like, find colors that you like, see the way that other people have used accent colors and how they can bring colors into your whole overall wedding scheme. You can see how certain colors look together, maybe get ideas of what colors to use on a table versus the colors to use in your bridal party attire, that sort of thing. Speaking of attire, Pinterest is also great to help with bridal party attire. So it'll help give you ideas on different styles of dresses that are out there, maybe help you see if you can't decide between maybe a short and a long dress for bridesmaids. You can see how that looks on other people and in photos, and if you like that look better, that might help make your decision a little bit easier, being able to see real life weddings and how it looks in photographs. It also helps to see the different variations of groomsmen and what they end up wearing. I think that's something that a lot of clients struggle with too, is are they supposed to wear a suit? Do they wear a jacket? Do they wear suspenders or a tie? So to be able to see how other people did that and how it looks in correspondence to your bridesmaids' dresses, I think is really helpful for people as well. One final note on attire ideas. For bridesmaids, a big trend right now is to use mix and match dresses, which I think is super great. I love when clients do that. But sometimes it's hard to choose dresses that you know are going to look good together unless you see them together. So using Pinterest as a search engine to look up different styles of bridesmaids dresses that look good together, different colors, if you want to do like a gradient theme, or just mix and match different neutrals or different shades of a certain color, being able to see how that works well together is a great use of Pinterest. Overall, Pinterest is great for just overall ideas and inspiration. Okay, you shouldn't be using Pinterest to try and exactly emulate something you see. I'm going to say that again. Do not copy what you see on Pinterest. You will drive yourself crazy. It should be used for ideas and inspiration, but please don't try to copy exactly what you see on Pinterest, because A, you don't know what the budget is that that person's working with, and you have no idea if it's anywhere close to what you're working with and if you can even emulate what they did. Also, you don't know the resources that they have. Maybe that wedding was the wedding of someone who's a professional wedding designer and they have all these great resources that they could bring in for their wedding day. You also don't know their skill level. Maybe you saw a lot of really great DIY styled things that you're like, oh, they made it themselves, I can make it themselves. But really, if you've never done something like that before, chances are you're gonna have a really hard time creating that on your wedding day. And the last thing that you want is the extra stress of feeling like you have to create something just like a photo that you saw on Pinterest. Another great use of Pinterest is to familiarize yourself with wedding dress styles before you actually go wedding dress shopping. If you've seen Say Yes to the Dress 687 times like me, then you probably have an idea of the different shapes and styles that are out there for wedding dress shopping. But if you haven't, doing a Pinterest search on different wedding dress shapes and finding what catches your eye and what you're initially drawn to could be really helpful before you actually go and try on wedding dresses, so that you kind of know what's out there, what you're drawn to, and what your style might be as far as all over lace, or if you want something more embellished and beaded, or something more plain and classic. Pinterest is great for that. Don't try and find the exact dress that you saw on Pinterest, because for one, chances are the really amazing dress that you saw on Pinterest was a custom dress. And for one thing, you're not going to be able to find that exact style dress in your area, depending on where you are. You may not even find something that's even close. So don't see a photo, bring it into your bridal salon and be like, this is what I'm looking for. It's good to pick out different elements of the dress of why you like it. Maybe you really love the neckline, or maybe you really love the back and the way that the lace detailing is on the back. Those are certain things that you should be picking out from photos and not actually trying to find that exact dress, because again, you don't know what the budget is for that dress. It could be something that was designed years ago and is no longer available. So picking out a certain dress that you want to find is likely going to make you feel let down in the long run. On the topic of wedding dresses, once you've found your perfect wedding dress, stop looking on Pinterest for wedding dresses. Trust me, you're going to drive yourself absolutely bonkers if you've already picked out your dress and you won't see it for several months when it comes in, and you're continually to scroll on Pinterest and see all these other different kinds of wedding dresses. And you might find yourself second guessing yourself on the choice that you made. You picked that dress for a reason. Don't torture yourself. Stop looking at wedding dresses on Pinterest. Just trust me. Do use Pinterest for gathering centerpiece ideas. Maybe you don't know if you want short centerpieces for round tables, or if you want to do garland on banquet style tables or really tall centerpieces. Seeing different photos of what those items look like on Pinterest at other people's weddings might help you be able to make that decision a little bit easier, because you can see how the end result looks with the whole table set and all of that. This goes along with floor plan ideas and maybe a way that you want to set up your tables. Maybe you're not sure if you want to have your entire head table at the front of the room and then have banquet style tables, everyone looking right at the bridal party, if you want to have round tables scattered. I've actually used Pinterest a lot in this way and seeing unique ways that people have set up their floor plan so that everyone can have a good vantage point of the bride and groom if that's something that the bride and groom is looking for. Another thing that I have found Pinterest to be really useful for brides is to look up different styles and colors of bridal bouquets and your bridesmaids bouquets and any other floral that you'll have at your wedding. I think this is something that I see brides struggle with a lot, is prior to their floral consult, they really have no idea of what they want for their bridal bouquet or for their bridesmaids bouquet, as far as size, shape, colors, if they want a lot of greenery, if they want it to be whimsical or cascading, and those sorts of things. So that's where Pinterest can come in handy to find out what shape you like, the colors you're drawn to, different flowers that you can pick out of each photo. That way you can bring those photos to your florist when you have your consult and be like, hey, I like this photo because of this, this, and this, and being able to construct something based on elements that you like and bouquets that you've seen already can be really helpful. That being said, this is helpful to pick out certain elements of bouquets and not necessarily recreate the bouquet that you're seeing on Pinterest, because every florist has a little bit of a different style, and also the flowers that's in that bouquet may not be in season when you're getting married, and maybe they can grab a couple of the flowers out of that photo, but likely it's not going to look exactly like the photo. So don't go in with that expectation. Probably one of the most important things to keep in mind when you're scrolling through Pinterest is to just be aware of your budget. If you're seeing these photos on Pinterest high in your feed, it's probably because someone has put a lot of work and energy into that wedding, and it's a really popular pin for a reason. It's probably extravagant, and it's probably created with a budget that is on the higher end. So keep that in mind, and if you see something that you really want to try and emulate at your own wedding, try and click through the articles, do the best you can to see how much the costs are. If it comes from a blog, there's a good chance that they might actually list out all the items that were used to create that photo and where they got it, and you might be able to find costs that way so that you're a little bit more educated on what it took to actually create that, and if that's something that's doable for you. Overall, Pinterest is great for idea generation and inspiration, but it really shouldn't be used to try and recreate what you see on Pinterest. Just do yourself a favor and know that you're probably not going to be able to completely recreate what you see on Pinterest, and just pick out elements that you like about certain photos or certain weddings that you see. And save yourself the stress and a potential mental breakdown by knowing when to put your phone away. Once you start checking items off your list, there's no need to look at Pinterest in those categories. Once you pick out your centerpieces, don't look on Pinterest anymore for centerpiece ideas. You're just gonna end up second guessing yourself and driving yourself crazy and getting confused for what you actually want for your wedding. Like I said before, you picked those items for a reason, just stick to it. I hope you found this helpful next time you find yourself Pinteresting for your wedding. I hope you keep these do's and don'ts in mind. Please remember to subscribe if you want weekly videos on wedding advice and tips, and we'll see you next week.